Thank you so much for having me here. Like, I'm a big fan of the Ella community. Like, welcome to Ella. It's being part of like their programs really, really just changed my life in the past year. It's like a great place to be vulnerable and at the same time, like learn how I could make my business better, not just for my customers, but also for myself. Like sometimes we neglect to take care of ourselves when we are, deep in the entrepreneurial process. So I'm also curious about who I'm hanging out with today. So I'm wondering if anyone from the audience could just turn on their video and their mic, of course, the microphone most importantly, and they just let me know what are you what your business is or what you're working on and any kind of challenge that you're having at the moment, and hopefully I can address it during the workshop. Specifically, you are going to be with me for 2 hours, so I'll do my best to not use up all the 2 hours, but happy to hang out with you all. So I see, who wants to go first? Just unmute your mic. I am the host now. Such power. Okay. Anybody? I'm going to randomly call a name. Okay, let's see. Gladys, I see your camera is on. Okay, no, she shut it down. Come on, guys.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm just trying to, the audio was having a problem. I was trying to fix it.
No, that's great. Thank you for being the brave first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Awesome. So what are you working on, and what challenges are you hoping to help solve during this workshop?
I'm just not working on any major project at the moment. I'm just here to learn.
Okay, awesome.
Learn some basics of business.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I joined.
Are you trying to start a business? Do you already have a business idea?
Not really. I don't want to start it now. I'm just trying to learn all the basics I need, the background, legal stuff, things like that.
Okay. I'm probably not the best person to help you with the legal stuff, but I'm definitely here to help you with your how to DIY your digital presence and to get you started. And I know the Markham Small Business Center has marketing workshops. So when you get into the marketing workshops, you'll have like all those needs as well ready. And then those marketing workshops will help you with the strategy of like how to maximize what you've set up, like from today's workshop. Anyone else want to share what their business is about and what challenges they're having?
Hi,
Shagana.
Hi, my name is Sahana.
Sahana. Sorry.
No problem. I opened a foot clinic. I'm a chiropodist, a foot specialist. And what I've been realizing is most of my patient referrals have been through Google. And we don't really have an online presence as big as I would like. Like right now, we're just on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm hoping to learn some tips and tricks in terms of like a service-based business, medical side of things. So thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I think one of the tools that we'll be talking about today will be very helpful for you, since you probably need a booking system. So I'll be happy for appointments, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be talking about how to set that up quite easily today as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Last one. Let's do one last person. What's your business? Be proud to speak of your business and be even prouder to admit that you have challenges, because that's the best way to learn. You don't know what you don't know. Connie, I see you unmuting.
Yes, hi. My name is Connie, and I'm the program director for a nonprofit arts organization. And I'm here today to learn more about our digital skills and how to improve our social media presence and I guess engage followers, more like to increase our followers as well.
That's awesome. And like to what goal? Like to get more people to sign up for your programs? Like why do we want to increase our followers?
Yeah, to sign up for our programs, but also to kind of just elevate our platform, because right now we're like a grassroots level, and I know for funders, looking at the big pictures, funders would kind of like to see, more of an impact. So I feel like using social media as kind of like displaying or showcasing our impact would be like one strategy.
Yes. Amazing. All right. And like that awareness of like what you need is really the first step, right? Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start.
Sisha, I saw Nima raised his hand. I think he wants to share as well.
Okay, yes, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nima. Glad to be among you guys. This is my first session. Just caught up a bit late with this program. We are in insurance business, and myself, I'm an insurance advisor. Particularly, the problem statement that we are tackling is to build a life and health program for entrepreneurs. And as a kind of result of that program that we are building, we are trying to collect inputs as what entrepreneurs and business owners in their earliest stage of their business need in terms of life and health protections. And I'm just here to learn that needs and that landscape from you guys.
I love so many things that you said, because when you started with what problem statement you're trying to solve, I'm a big design thinker. I'm a design thinking facilitator. So that is a great mindset, like before you even think of brand, before you even think of, website and like how cool your thing is going to look, and features for whatever you're trying to build, the problem comes first. And that's one of the things you'll learn at Ella, how to really like define that problem as well, like with at least a program like I went through. So yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you for sharing, Nima, and for having your video on. I love it when I can see the people I am hanging out with. So this is awesome. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing my screen. And so our agenda for today, I am going to be working off this whole page. You guys will have access to this whole resource. I've put this together for you. We'll share the link towards the end of the workshop. I just want to make sure you guys stay and get the most value out of it. Okay, so here's our agenda. Basically, how to stay organized, how to build a website in 10 minutes or a whole marketplace, or just a spreadsheet, how to learn about your audience with easy and ethical analytics. And, I'm really big on, ethical piece of this, because sometimes it gets a little too invasive. How to write copy, create custom branding, illustrations, and graphics that actually look good without breaking the bank, maybe without even spending money. The goal here is to do just enough to get started, right? We don't need to have like our dream website, our dream brand, from the get-go. That is something that you should always practice at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, is low effort, high impact actions that will take you to the next step, even if it's not as pretty. Function always trumps pretty things. Because like if your messaging is good, everything would fall into place, and then you can just add to it instead of maybe the other way around. And then bonus, what if you have an app idea that you also want to work on? And I bring this up because, when in recent times, we've had to take an extra step with our digital transformation as even as small businesses. How do we reach our customers in unprecedented times, and how do we create those avenues for them to be able to serve them well? Okay, so let's start with how to stay organized. If at any time you have any questions, I just let Serena know in the chat, or just turn on your microphone. That's fine. I can't always see the chat, and I can't always see everybody, so you'll have to rely on the team. All right, so let's get started with how to stay organized. What I love to use to stay organized is this exact thing you're looking at right now. This is called Notion. So Notion.so is great. It's your notebook, right? If you've used like Google Docs and like all that, like this is much better. This is much better. Like it keeps everything in place. You can create your own workflow. I have my own workspace here. My whole team, my whole agency runs on Notion, and it's customized to like your organization style. There are great templates too for running businesses. I see a Notion fan in the chat. That's awesome. I love it so much. It changed my life. And basically, you'll be able to try the features when you get access to this, because you can make it a public page. I've built a whole website on Notion as well. So maybe let me show that real quick. See, this is one of the websites I built for my project, and this is all built in Notion, and it doesn't take any coding, any kind of skill. You can have like different embeds and images and whatnot, so it really helps. It's a great place to stay organized. So today, what we've also had prepared for you, when you get the link to this, you'll be able to make a copy for yourself, and so you can go ahead and use it. So in this particular tab, we've got it created a to-do list, basically, that you can follow step by step, basically a checklist. And as you finish that, you can move it down the line, like, okay, if defining your customer, doing that right now. And then when I'm done, I just like drag it into completed. And besides that, each card that you have here will have a to-do list or some resources inside, right? So let's see. Like here, when you're creating your brand, like what do you need to do, and like what are some resources you could use to hack that, spend as little as possible with it still looking really, really good. So that's what essentially we'll be going through the workshop today. And we're going to get started with defining your customer, right? That's very important before you even build anything. Like I mentioned earlier, what problem is your customer having? What problem are you trying to solve? And like a great tool that I love to use is Miro. You don't necessarily have to use Miro, but it's a great it's one of my favorite tools. You can do this on paper if you like. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and open that up. And now you've seen how many accounts I have everywhere. And let's just see. So I love sticky notes. If you are on Twitter, I am Sticky Sisa on Twitter. Okay. So Miro.com, right? So this is the persona canvas. And this is so important because when you're thinking of your branding, even designing your service or product for your customer, your customer always has to be at the center. When people say human-centered design or design thinking, it's always from the perspective of the customer and the user. Oftentimes, what you assume the customer needs might not be what they actually need. So this will give you a great place to document or make your best guess as you try to validate, is this the right customer or is this the right problem to solve? So how to fill this up is quite easy. Persona is maybe the person is you describe the person, right? Are they a single mom? Do they but do it very specifically. Are they a single mom? Do they have 2 kids? Do they work 3 jobs? Versus answering it like, okay, everyone from 18 to 30 years old in Ontario that owns a cell phone, right? Like that is like way too broad. If you can make it very specific and do the job well for one person, that's the perfect place to start. And then you can always add more types of customer segments, but it's better to focus. I know sometimes we want to address, we want everybody to be our customer, but that's like casting a wide net, right? And then see with big holes and like seeing who will bite instead of picking someone and like taking care of them really, really well. So you can also track, take note of someone's personality. And so this is when we say personality, are they organized, right? Are they quirky, or do they love to love to travel is like an interest, right? Do they love to travel? Are they temperamental? Are they quite busy all the time? Are they always like overwhelmed with tasks, right? And then what skills do they have? And depending on the problem you're trying to solve for your customer, the skills that you would note down should be relevant. If you're trying to solve, let's say, finding a way to keep track of all your luggage when you're traveling, you're not going to put crocheting skills as part of the skills. It's probably has to be more relevant, like I'm able to create a spreadsheet, and that also brings us to tech savviness. What websites do they visit? What apps do they use on frequently? And even if you say all the social media apps, like pick one, like you have to pick one to hone in on, because there are different use cases for it. Wow, people are still coming in. That's awesome. All right. So the top here, we have reasons to use your product and reasons to buy your product, right? Whatever you're selling right now, probably someone else out in the world is also selling the same thing, right? It's just that the execution is different. There's a differentiator, right? Like nothing is like net new anymore, right? Even if, let's say, Uber, right? Like taxis exist, but they're like, well, we'll still do it. We'll still provide like a mode of transportation for people that don't own cars. But then the reason to buy that product is because it's on call, the quality is better, everyone is like more securely and on track. It's super convenient, right? So that's the difference. Like, what is a differentiator from existing products out there, so as to have your customers could have a reason to buy your product versus just using something. Let's say if you are a bookstore and people would come to your website to check out like book reviews, why would they go to your website instead of just Googling like those reviews as well? That's another thing. And that was not the best example, but I'll flip it back to you guys, because I want to know exactly what you guys are facing. So do we have any questions? What questions do you have for me about this persona template? Does anyone want to try to quickly make a run through the canvas with the customers that they're trying to solve? I'll be here to help. Anybody? Mm-hmm. Come on, guys. Do we have any questions? You can put it in the chat, or you can turn your mic on. How do we define our customers? Do we all know who our customers are? Do we have a good idea of who our customers are? Don't leave me hanging, guys. 6:20 on a Tuesday night. Nobody? Okay. All right.
I see Brendan unmute himself.
All right, Brendan.
I figured I'll jump in here. Okay, so my business idea is like a sportsplex, sports facility, something like that. And so I think I've kind of gone through this a little bit in a different kind of fashion or different layout. But so, I want to offer, indoor and outdoor sports recreation facilities to both organized, competitive, and just general kind of pickup sports.
Okay.
To individuals, but to teams, organized leagues. That's kind of my target in terms of, it's kind of broad, but it's diverse, so that I'm not just targeting individuals or already structured organizations that have relationships with municipalities or other facilities.
All right. Yes, go ahead.
And for the personality, the people that I'm targeting are people that are athletic or that enjoy sports, that have children, that want to get them introduced to start participating in a sport or continue with something more competitive, or better yet, work on certain skills through skill development programs as well. So versus just say running a basketball league, I'm not an expert basketball player by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe I bring in a basketball coach and focus, have different sessions, maybe have like a 6-week program or an 8-week program that focuses every week on a different skill set within basketball. But the personalities are, so athletic, competitive, people that are conscious of their health, or maybe that's more of an interest. Mm-hmm. And people that just want to get their children or themselves out of the house for a couple hours a week to do something, keep their head clear.
Mm-hmm.
On the tech savvy in this part of it, there's not really that I can think of a whole lot that's because of the nature of what I'm trying to do. But for me as the business owner, having an app or like if you go to a chiropractor or masseuse, there's lots of different places now that there's a couple softwares. There's one called Square, there's one called Jane, that as you book your own appointments online, or you book your, say your basketball court or your basketball lesson, you can do it all online as opposed to having a call or email and wait for, someone to respond. So mm-hmm. The booking of it or paying is the tech savviness part of it for, I think, myself. Yeah. The skills, is this more geared around the skills of the people or skills of the business?
The skills of the people. So that's a great question, right? Because right now in your persona, like here, like the first part, right? You're targeting the individuals and the municipalities like at the same time, right? And so this is where the persona canvas comes really in handy. Like you probably have to create 2 canvases, one for your B2C things and one for your like more like B2B things, right? B2C is like the direct to customer. B2B is if you're working with other businesses or other organizations, because your messaging will probably have to be different towards a dad that's trying to get his kids out of the house because they're iPads all the time, versus hey, with the municipality, let's collaborate on like building a program and like putting like getting the kid building a program like together, what perks or what are the pros and cons of you working with me and all that. So yeah, that's a great question to ask. So where were we? We were like in skills, right? Yes. So what would you like to focus on? Maybe let's focus on the individual parent, right? So that kind of narrows down. What would you like to focus on?
Well, I think, like you were touching on kind of the persona, right? There's like the B2B and the B2C. And for the B2C part, it's almost like there's you kind of go to another step further to sub levels in the sense that you're targeting either individuals that want to participate and register themselves. Like myself, I play hockey, right? So I sign myself up for a hockey league, or I'm going to sign my daughters up to play hockey. Mm-hmm. Or take a core or a skill development lesson, whatever that might be. So like there's in terms of the persona, there's kind of three kind of groupings that I'd be targeting. So for the skill side of it, like I'm trying to focus on not just the general recreation, have a men's basketball league, say, or a basketball league, whether it's men's or women's or co-ed, makes no difference right now, but just offering something to get out of the house. But for the younger age groups, or even, younger adults that maybe want to further refine their skills, that's where I'd be targeting. You're running specialty kind of sessions to focus on key skills you want to develop. So whether in basketball, if it's like shooting, right? Like, from the foul line or from the 3-point line, whatever it is. Or is it in hockey, is it stick handling and, being able to, toe drag the puck around the defenseman if you're a forward type of thing, right? So, or goalie clinics, stuff like that.
Sports skills for the non-sports people.
But at the same time too, like on the whiteboard behind me, I got all these different sports written down. Like, so even things like it's, I say like yoga, for example, right? Like I've never done yoga before, but when you have a gymnasium and it's you have to fill this gymnasium 100% of the time or as much as possible to make money, or to cover the cost at least. Like yoga is something you would have, right? You could have individuals that are their own yoga instructors that come in, rent the space, and they bring in their own clients, right?
So now that's back to like B2C, right? B2B, right? So what now, like staying into like individuals, right? Like why would they go and use your facility versus other facilities?
Okay, so right now, there's not a whole lot of facilities out there. Like a lot of gymnasiums, I use that because it's a real, wherever we live, like I live in Northern York region, the only gymnasium in the town of Keswick where I live, or in Georgina, the town of Georgina, that's available it's a municipality owned gym. All the school, because prior to COVID, you'd have all the different school boards that would rent out their gymnasiums at night, and for nearly nothing, right? Like the cost to rent those facilities is, peanuts in comparison to renting out a private gymnasium at, say, if you were to go to LA Fitness and rent their gym to run a basketball league, you're going to pay $180 an hour as opposed to maybe $50 an hour at your municipality. The thing though is the people who run these private gyms, they offer more than just the gym, and like it's all the customer service that goes along with it that make it ease of use, ease of booking. The equipment can be provided as well. Insurance is part of it. It's the same in the municipal as well, but it's just the quality of the product is different. You go to a school gymnasium or a municipal gymnasium, it's a little bit different than if you go into a private facility, like personal experience at least, right? I've been in bad gymnasiums as well, but what I'd be looking to offer is that warm, welcoming facility that's clean, that's well lit, and welcoming. So
all right,
why they would pick me is just it's the services that we're offering, and this the makeup of the facility is just more inviting, maybe better hours, better and when you're targeting the individuals as opposed to, say, a structured organization, running the right classes at the right times. Myself, I work, long hours. I'm up early. I'm out late. I'm on the phone late. So I need to have something to go to that fits my schedule, right? And a lot of people work 9 to 5 or ish, right? So on the way home from work, or maybe in the morning on the way into work, you could do a class or do play a rec league, something like that.
Yeah.
But so that's the ease of the use is just making it available, marketing it, getting it out there, using the tech savviness, be able to book it and reserve it. The municipal gyms and private and school gyms, you have to book it, through them, and it's a little bit more tasking than just being able to go on through an app and reserve it.
Yep. All right.
And then reasons to buy, I guess I kind of overlapped into the reasons to use the product, but yeah, I don't. I think I kind of covered everything.
Yeah, you did. Thank you so much. You know, like this, and the example you shared with us really shows like this is applicable to any business, any product, any service, because of course, like we're all serving like people, right? So, thank you so much, Brendan, for put sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for saving my my silence, my quiet little group tonight. It's not a little group anymore. Okay, so if there are no any other questions about persona, I'll move on to like the other parts, right? So you will go back to this as you're choosing images, writing copy, all this stuff down the as you're trying to set up your online presence. So we've defined your customer. I've put the template here, the link to that template here. Miro is free for your first 3 boards. So have at it. Most of the tools we'll be sharing today are free. So the next step would be to create your brand, right? And usually people would go and hire a graphic designer right away, to create a logo and to create a tagline. But that does get expensive, especially when you're starting out, right? So there are quick and easy ways to do that. You can use Canva. You can use things like the Noun project and just purchase a icon that you can use as a logo. Let's say we are doing gyms. So I can just go click search. And then now I have my logo, right? It doesn't have to be the logo that you stick with forever. Remember, we're just trying to get started, right? So it's so easy. I can just download that icon. I can even like change the color, and then I could just download it. I would have to sign in to show you. So I might be revealing my password. I forgot to log out. And that is now the Noun project, very easy way, but you can also go to websites like brandmark.io. So with Brandmark, you can just generate logos. If I wanted to create a logo, and let's say, let's do Brendan's gym. And then we click next. Let's use those keywords, right? Like that we had earlier, athletic, what else? Competitive, health, better hours. Let's see what that does, right? Okay, so and then you can pick a color style. Let's pick this one. And then now it's generating logos for you. So now you can just pick and out of the, sorry, Zoom is in the way. I can't see anything. Okay, you can pick from the different logos that are here. Let's see. And you can, if you find something that's interesting, you'll also have to like or save a couple of times before it starts generating what you want, right? Like this is AI, so you have to kind of teach it what you like. But then doesn't this look so good already? Like the shorts. And let's say I found something that I like. Right? Like, let's say, oh, this looks cool, but then the icon is off. I could just click edit and then just pick a different icon. I could browse different icons. This website's going to help you with the upcoming assignment. Yeah, for sure. Use it for everything. My business is basically run on like how to hack stuff. So, okay, so let's just pick the one, right? And there, like it's updated. I could change the font, the layout, anything. maybe we can pick something a little more edgy. Okay, like I don't. This looks like it's like a Terminator movies. Okay, maybe like that. So right, like it's so easy. And then when you're done with that, you just go and share that or purchase it. And then, it's like $25 if you want it PNG, if you want to be able to get it with all the logo, like the mock, it already has like your letterhead, your presentation designs, like your social media graphics. It's $65, one-time fee, $65, right? I am not affiliated with the site at all, but I just want to share you guys, like, how much you actually don't have to spend, right? So this is really like a good deal. So that website is called Brandmark. I'll add that to our resource here. So then you're going to have your logo, right? Choose your images, not logos. Right. And then you would have to create a tagline. And how would you do that? Do you have any questions? Okay. So let's go ahead and just like looking at the time here. I'm going to show you where you can find like nice images. And that website is this, Pexels. So pexels.com is a great, good free stock photo site. And what I like about it is they don't all look like stock photos. Like I'm sure you've all heard of like Shutterstock, but it's kind of overused. And like people, like eventually people can tell that they are from Shutterstock, and you want to be a little more believable with your brand and look more human than, like this stuff. It's always, showing up everywhere. But Pexels is like a little more aesthetic, right? It's not your typical commercial images. So if we were going to do gym, for example, right, you have more dynamic, more cinematic photos like this instead of, some guy on a white background that, is just lifting with one arm, right? So that's the main difference why I recommend Pexels. Also, Pexels is free. Shutterstock, if you want them this good, you'll probably have to pay for it. So this is a great place to get images, and they're also like high resolution. You just have to download for free, and that's a great place to get images. So let's go back to our checklist. So now you know where to get images. You now have to create a tagline. And actually, like all the copy for your website, right? What kind of messaging that you want. So I would go to a website called copy.ai. Now, I don't want you guys to like get intimidated with all these like AI tools. They are friendly, and they really require no technical experience to use. So basically how copy.ai works, and copy.ai is free. I'm already here. I'm already logged in. I would just create a new project, and let's say my project is let's just do Brendan's gym again. What would be a relevant website? What's an existing Good Life? What is the Good Life website? I obviously don't go to the gym. That's why I'm just like picking the most basic. Okay, goodlifefitness.com. So what adding that competitor website does is it's telling the AI that this is the kind of space I'm in. I don't have to do all this like research anymore. It's pulling it from the different places on the internet that have like gym websites, or like what gym ads are working, and all that. So that is how it saves you time, right? So you describe your product like a gym with better hours. and equipment. You don't have to write it really great, right? Just like the AI will do it for you. You don't have to like describe it so much. So here on the left, you can kind of see, so this is, oh, we picked product descriptions. Wait, let me just run it. So how it works is I have to pay for the, why do I have to, oh, because I haven't used it in a while. I use my other account. Sorry guys. But what it does is it generates better copy for you, but now the suspense is gone. So let me just quickly, if you guys want to try it yourself while I sort this out. Okay, there. Reactivate. Please don't make me pay. Okay, it's not free anymore. They were free last week. It's free for 14 days. So there, that is the thing. I've used up my subscription already. So that's the thing. So if you try with a new account, it would generate things like product descriptions, digital ad copy, website copy, and basically you just paste your basic descriptions into it, inform your project, give it a little bit of like input, and it'll generate really good copy for you after you like what you like a couple of times. Yeah, suspense killer. Let me see if I could open it in another place, but here we go. So let's say website copy. I hope it'll work on this account. .com. Any questions so far? All right. Okay. Okay. Gym with better hours and equipment. Okay. For pickup games. See, I'm putting the least effort into it, but if I click create copy, now it generates all these cool things like get in the game, whatever sport you play, our gym has you. Like, so if I save that, it'll keep learning what I like, hit the, like it has that punch. It's as if like you actually hired copywriters to do this, right? So, or if I click more like this, it's gonna make more copy like this. Whatever sport you play, we have unbeatable, we have the equipment for you at unbeatable prices. So it just gets better the more you save and the more you like. And that's what you can use to keep to paste into the website that you are about to build. Yeah, so, and it can do other stuff for you, like your content as well. Like if you're trying to do blogs or even emails. I hate writing emails. It's excruciating. I'm very anxious. But it'll even help you with like social media copy. If you want to do carousel posts and captions on Instagram, it could help you with any of that. So really take advantage of copy.ai. It just saves you so much time and money. Okay. Moving on to our next tool, which is, okay, so now we have like our tagline, right? We've designed a logo, we've selected like images, and then we've created a tagline, and maybe you've created the copy for your website as well. Now you can choose, and now you can go, so let's move that. Let's say we've completed all that. I'm gonna build my website now. And so we've done a little bit of this, writing your copy, choosing your images. Now you have to sign up for a website builder. And I'm going to show you two website tools. And I know, like earlier, someone mentioned that they didn't have a business idea yet. And that is fine, because there are two tools that you can either build an all-out website or just a landing page to test if that business idea is a viable idea. I can't hear anyone either.
We can hear you now.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just quickly change up. Okay. Can you hear me? And can somebody please say something so I know if that
Oh, hi, I can hear you.
Hear something.
Yes.
Okay. Can anyone?
Hello?
Can someone come on the mic? The mic and say something.
We lost your audio.
My thing.
Cisa, can you hear us?
Sorry, guys. Well, for as long as you can hear me, someone has a question in the chat about what a copy is. So copy is all the text that you see on your on a website, or an ad, or anything that's text is copy. So copy is just a term used like in advertising world, for the design world, and that's basically why it's called copy.ai. I'm just going to actually quickly leave the call and come back because it's just not.
Sorry, everyone, for the tech issue. If you have any question for Cisa, just drop in the chat box. I will monitor that and ask Cisa to answer the questions.
Awesome. All right.
Cisa, can you hear us?
Yes. And can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Sorry about that. But yes, going back to our website builders. Okay, so there are two tools that you can use to build your website. And this is if you're just starting your business and you haven't really if you're just testing your idea, you can use card.co with 2 R's. So it's super easy. You just choose a starting point, and you can pick any of these free templates. So even if you're a designer, maybe you just need a profile, to, lead people to all your other links. I once had to attend the conference and my actual website crashed. So I rebuilt a website. I built a website, an alternative website, in 20 minutes using card. So it's super simple. I can just select that template. I can click image and upload an image. Okay, let's see.
this one from Tim Hortons, like merch. I have so much random stuff in my downloads, but here we go. Okay, and then like just accept that. Then you can change. And that did not. You can change the styling as well. So to be site title. So let's see the options for this image. This would ideally be your logo. That's why it's small. So let's use my logo. Right there, that's what it's for. And then you can just really click into any part of it and edit any space. And then when you click done, you can click play and like publish that. Publish. And then when you sign up, it'll give you your own URL. So it could be dripdrop.card.co. And then that's your website. And then you can, what you do with that is, for example, if you're selling maybe like essential oils, right? And you create a landing page for your products, but you're not really, you haven't made like inventory yet, and you haven't, you just want to know if like if anyone would respond to it, you could start sharing this onto like Facebook groups or wherever your audience is, and then see how many people actually like try to buy things. And you could actually, link it to like Stripe or PayPal. Yeah, so that's card.co. Just move the chat so you can see. And then the other website builder that I love is Softer.io. So Softer.io can help you build more complex websites in just a few minutes. So let's see, let's look at the kind of things that you can build. All right, one, you can build websites, right? So it's as easy as Lego. And I'll show you quickly how to do that. Let's see. But if you actually like want to build a marketplace where people can maybe look at your real estate listings or your things that you can sell and you want them to be searchable, or if you're, you can create like a service marketplace. This is, and they make it very easy. So let's do the first thing first, which is create a website. So I'm going to log in. And then I've created quite a few websites here already. And see, you can just like pick a template here if I wanted to have a real estate agency and all that. But let's just go ahead and click a fresh one, new application. And then I go to templates and I go to website. It's as easy as using Facebook, right? So I can pick any of these templates that I could just edit. So I like to use this one. I'll click use template. It's loading. Loading very slowly because there's it's loading the whole website for you already, right? Everything is built. So it has every section that you could ever need. And if you wanted to add more things, you could just click one of these little yellow buttons, and then you'll be able to pick from like different types of components that you could add into there. It's so easy to use. Like if I just click this section, if I wanted to edit this section, let's say I want the image on the left instead of on the bottom. I wanted to change the copy here, so here, if I wanted to do the gym thing still, right? Let's see what we got from the generator earlier. I did not keep that tab open. It was get to, let's say this was it, get to the game, right? And I wanted to change that. I could pick a stock photo, gym, and see it pulls from pixels. And I could change like the colors here, the fonts, like anything I want, and really just change and edit everything like in the website. So if you had already followed the checklist, you had picked the images, picked your copy, you're really just like copy, pasting, and uploading. That's how easy it is to build this website, right? So let's look at our checklist. So we've signed up for a website builder. We've chosen a template that works for you. We can populate the website from the copy and images that we had earlier. And now we're going to try to capture emails. And why is it important to capture emails? Like here, right? You usually see this because, and it's usually like on the top of the website, because that's the first point of communication you're going to have with your customers. And the way to do that is to use something like Mailchimp. I'm gonna send you a thing later that will help me capture your emails. So I could like keep providing you resources, but of course, like, you know, plain and simple, like I would like to like find a way to reach you guys as well. Do these website builders allow you to use your own domain, or do you have to use the provider's domain? It allows you to connect to any domain. So that is on our checklist, right? At the end, you can connect to your domain. So I'll address that later. So what Mailchimp allows you to do is basically add the functionality behind these bars, right? So it'll like Mailchimp is a whole other tool, and you know they have this great how-to resources, but and if anyone in here is already super familiar with Mailchimp, like please feel free to chime in. But what it would let you do is actually give you like a code, right? Let's see. Just don't want to like overwhelm everybody. But if I were to create a campaign in Mailchimp, let's say create a sign-up form, right? It'll take you through a step-by-step process, and then it'll give you a link. Or even if not Mailchimp, what's great with Mailchimp is great because it gives you analytics, but what's great with software is you can also literally just put forward your email, and then I can say, okay, anyone that puts their email here gets sent an email that gets sent to my inbox, and then like I can deal with them there, right? Especially if you're still like at a earlier stage where you're not really expecting like 100 users right away or 100 customers right away. All right, so when they click sign up, that's the action. You can change the different actions here. Yeah, so that's softer. Let's see. Okay, so let's say in capture emails, you also want a way for people to reach you. And this is where the booking tool comes in. Let's say if we go to my website, you can see that there is a book now button here for coaching session. If I click book now, it opens my calendar. It opens to a calendar, and people can pick a date and time. And this calendar is synced to my actual calendar, my work calendar. So the times that are here are times that I'm actually free. There's nothing booked there, and I'm able to do that. If your users click confirm, they can add their details. And then you can add some questions too, like what they would need help with. And then if they schedule that event, it goes to your calendar and books that time off. And then it would also send them a calendar invite. So this tool is called Calendly. But what's great about this too is if you are, for example, you know, let's say a service, right? Like, or earlier someone needed like a booking system, and you want to avoid people canceling. last minute, so now you're left with a wasted slot. Calendly also lets you collect payment before they book a session, so that guarantees they're going to come, and you're not wasting your time waiting for a no-show. So Calendly.com is the best tool I've used so far. It also adjusts depending on time zones, and when you can simply just like embed that link, it'll just give you a link and then you put it in a button and that's it. What are the best tools you'd recommend for designing an on-brand slide deck and also marketing content one-pagers that match our website? We'll get to that. It's our next tool, but I just want to show you that if you publish, you can use like a temporary, you can edit this, you can have like a temporary, yeah, it is a great tool for like the limited free version, but I love it so much that I use so much, different kinds of events. And you can even like use it to trigger other things, send emails, send reminders, group bookings. It's super helpful. Yoga, classes. Okay, so I can add a custom domain. If I upgrade, I could add a custom domain. And I could also find those like settings here, and other things like SEO, and other more advanced integrations. Okay, so that is Softer. Some websites that I would use with Softer is, sorry, lost my train of thought. So that's why this checklist is great. So it'll remind you what you're doing. Okay, so you have, Julie is overwhelmed already. Don't worry, you can like access this whole list. You can access this whole list, and you can always message me and I'll be happy to like walk you through it as well. And then connecting your domain. These are like a little more advanced, but they're not ungoogleable. And most of these tools, all of these tools actually like have great like help and step-by-step instructions. So it wouldn't be, you wouldn't be on your own going through this. So don't worry about it. You will be fine. Have faith. Okay, let's go into, so now that's done. You're gonna set up your social media channels, right? You can sign up for Instagram. I'm not gonna show you how to sign up for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but what I would suggest is that you pick one to focus on. It'll be good to have, channels everywhere, but always redirect them to your website. This is where things like link in bio come in. Link in bio, or Linktree, where it gives you a quick page where all the links to your website, to other things that you're promoting and selling are. You'll see that in most brands that you follow on Instagram, they would say link in bio. It's also good to use link in bios because they're not, Instagram doesn't block them because of security reasons. They don't use like URLs that like they don't recognize. They don't let you post URLs that they don't recognize. Okay, so when you do set up your social media channels, you're going to need images, and you're gonna need to be able to, in your opinion, sorry, it's signing me in. So when you go to Canva, you just pick what you're trying to build. And so let's say social media, and you have all these templates already, right? Like the key is to not reinvent the wheel. And I believe Canva keeps track of like the assets, like your logos and your, if you're the logos and fonts or like previous designs that you use, the elements that you use. Let's pick. I really wanted to use that for someone. So let's see, gym again. So here, right? So gym, come in better hours, right? Better hours. It's so easy to use, right? You don't have to be. And then you can replace these photos as well. To remove watermarks, you kind of have to upgrade, but it's not expensive at all. So you can do that. And then if you wanted to add a page, adding a page. If you wanted to add a template, let's see. More like photos, you can do videos. You have different like content sources here. And you can have different types of media as well, because you do need different kinds of, for example, Instagram, posting photos is great, but the way that they've changed the algorithm now is they actually boost videos more than they would photos. In your opinion, what is the best social media outlet to start with? That depends on your users, right? Your customers. If I was targeting moms, I would find the best place to find moms are on Facebook Costco groups. I've found, Pinterest, depending on, if you're trying to address more like aesthetic crowd. Instagram definitely is more for like millennials. TikTok is for Gen Z. There are crossovers. Twitter is more like, for me, for example, for my business, right? Like I am very active in the tech space. So if I try to reach my tech space audience, I would go on Twitter. But if I wanted to sell like a program, like for like women entrepreneurs, I would, that aren't necessarily in the tech space, I would go to Instagram and join Facebook groups where like there are women entrepreneurs that could benefit from my services. So it depends on your user persona, which we developed earlier. So when you look at tech savviness, it's not just like what apps they use, is like where do they hang out? That was a great question. Thank you, Sabrina. So does anyone have any more questions about Canva? We're almost to the end, guys. We're almost at Q&A. Okay, so no, no questions. I hope it's because I'm just explaining things really, really well and not that you guys are asleep. Okay, so you've set up your social media channels. If you have any social media questions, I would recommend you guys like reaching out to Christine Liu. She's also like from the Ella community. She does this amazing like brand party challenge. Check her out, and she can help you guys like set up. I think this year alone, she helped like 25 like businesses like really boost like their social media channels, and it's only March. Would you recommend TikTok to build a brand? It depends again, like on your target market. I am trying to join TikTok as well. You don't, but the thing is, if you join TikTok, you don't actually have to dance all the time. That's like the general, like, what do you call this? Deterrent to people trying to build a presence. Like, oh, I don't want to do TikTok because I don't want to dance. You don't have to. It's just with why I say pick one platform is the way to gain engagement on every platform is different, right? With TikTok, you have to like post once a day, at least once a day, and then you have to have people locked in like in the first 3 seconds of your video, otherwise they would scroll, right? Like, and that's how like that algorithm works. With Instagram, like it's also a different way, different like tenor, timing, Even the aesthetic is different. It's more, Instagram is more like polished and, you know, like fashion, and, you know, it's very directed. But with TikTok, it's very like crude and like, you know, real life in your face. So it depends on your brand. What kind of brand are you trying to represent to your audience, and who are you trying to build faster? If you want to share like in the Q&A later, or we can probably go deeper, and maybe we can group as a group, maybe help you pick which social media channel to use. And then one thing is like very important to set up analytics for your website. And what that does is it gives you information on, out of all the social media channels and all the website stuff and all these things that you have online, is like where are my customers actually coming from? So I like to use plausible.io. It's cheaper, it's cheap, but also it's like not invasive. Like it just gives me the numbers. It just gives me the numbers I need to know, but it doesn't tell me like, it doesn't tell me like too much about like so much that it's invasive, right? It's simple and privacy friendly Google Google Analytics alternative, right? So what that looks like for my website. So if I go to designofftheboat.com, or design off, I have it turned off. I am weird because I literally just clicked into it. Let's see if any of these are working. Okay, so here, this is a website that I don't push at all. So like that's why the analytics are terrible. It's just test, right? So these are the things that we do. We create websites and then we see if anyone will like respond to it within like, we do an experiment of like 2 weeks. And if people don't respond to that messaging, we go and edit and like change something. And then, so it would show you the top sources. Let's pick another one that actually has sources. Let's see here. All right, here. So we can see for this website, like whatever I did on my social media or my LinkedIn or whatever on that day, it brought more customers, 13 more visitors that day. And I could click to view that day and see what time is the best time for me to post. So right now it looks like 7 p.m. is the best time for me to post. It shows me how many unique visitors and total page view. Bounce rate is how long did they stay on your website? The visit duration, but did they actually leave? Did they actually read the whole thing, right? So it's also important to put everything like in the most visible places. It also tells me where these clicks came from. So if I had set up all my social media already and put my website in the bio, that it would show like, oh, it came from Instagram or it came from a Google search. It will also show me the places in the world and regions and cities where they're coming from. And you when you set up your social media and you do ads, you'll be able to pick targets, and it'll show if your targeting is working. You also get to find out which devices people are using, what browser they're using, and that's important because sometimes websites look different on different browsers. And if you're into apps like operating systems as well, if that's relevant to what you need. So that is the analytics. .io, I'm not sure what .io means. It's just like super trendy right now. .app is also coming out. .ai. I'm not really sure what .io means. We can Google that together. Okay, so you've set that up, and it's very easy to also just like link it to your website. It will just give you, I don't want to overwhelm you, but it will just like give you a code to paste. Let's say if it is in software, you would just paste it into the head of your into here, one of these settings. You just have to paste it somewhere here. So yeah, that's it. All right, and it's 7:15, so almost time to wrap up. Let's see. Bonus, what if you have an app idea? But before we go into that, like, what do you, I really want to know, like, any more questions that we have before we go into apps. You just turn your mic on and let me know if you have any questions. Nope. Oh. Okay. So let me see. No cameras, no videos. All right. Okay. So we can, I guess, if you guys have an app idea, so it's so much easier to build apps now. In fact, if you can learn how to, if you know how to work a spreadsheet, you can actually build an app. And in 10 minutes, if you've had experience, but if for me, it took me 3 days to learn it, right? So Glide is a tool that that lets you build all sorts of apps. Like if I wanted to duplicate like Instagram, I could do that. I could just go into Glide and like pick a template. And also, like this one, like if I wanted to build an app to like track my expenses as a company, if I'm an accountant and I want my clients to have an app, so to just, if I'm a bookkeeper, I mean, and I just want them to, like just take a picture of the thing. So we don't have to scramble at the end of the month, let's say. I could just go ahead and purchase one of these apps off this website and then link it up, customize that spreadsheet, and I'd be able to get all that information here. So this basically is connected to a Google spreadsheet, and you'd be able to do like many like different products as well. So let's go to the gym again, right? I can set up a booking page, like look at who the coaches are. And I promise you, building an app is so simple. You don't really need like any technical experience. In fact, I run a Saturday program, and you'll find the link in the resource page. But basically, especially for like women, it's a full-day program where you can come in with an idea for breakfast, and by dinner time, you'll have an app that you can fully launch to your customers at the end of the day. So it's really, really simple. It's really easy to do. But of course, it's better if you have a good teacher, and you can have, the community is great, and they provide like all these templates as well. Does Glide have a free version? Glide is free. Glide is free so the way Glide starts pricing you is if you use more than 500 rows on a spreadsheet, then that's when it starts charging you. But yeah, it is totally free to use, and oftentimes all you need is a weekend to figure it out. You don't need a design experience, no like technical like background or coding at all. So yeah, so now we are at 7:20. Maybe we can have questions, and if not, we can call it a night. There are 53 people on this call. And what questions do you have for me with regards to your digital presence, or maybe if you have an existing like website, maybe, or like platform, maybe we can share it and help critique it together, or anything, guys. Like, let me know how I can help you. Well, thank you.
Yeah, everyone, feel free to unmute yourself.
Oh, hello.
ahead,
I don't have a question. I just want to say that it's been very informative. I don't have a lot of digital experience when it comes to social media. So this has been very helpful. It's somewhere to grow from.
Thank you so much. I'm glad, you found it helpful as well. And please, like, if you have any questions, please free to just like shoot me an email anytime, or let Ella know, and I can just give you my calendar. It's on my website, actually. Would you critique my slide?
Yeah, I got a question.
You can't see the email on her page.
Sorry?
I can't see her email.
On my website?
Oh, I don't have I joined a bit late and I kept getting disconnected. I don't know your website.
Okay, so if you go on my website, you can actually like book a coaching hour for free. You can do that there. Also for today's resources, you can get that here.
Yeah, we will send out the resource and also CISA's contact information in the follow-up email. You will get that shortly after the session.
You said that the last week. I didn't get it. I'm still not getting them. And I sent you like an email saying this is my email. I still didn't get it.
I got your email and I sent you the follow-up email again. Would you mind check your junk box?
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. And also, Sisa, I got a question from Connie. She asked, could you repeat the app you used?
Which app to build the...
Connie, would you mind unmute yourself and give us more information?
Okay, maybe she's
Hi, sorry. It's the one that used to build a website.
Software.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you click, so I put a link in the chat. If you click that, you can have access to this whole presentation I just showed you today. And Dana, yes, Dana, your website does look amazing. And I hope it's okay that share it with everybody, because you did ask to critique it. So let's do that. I love how, okay, so I love how I can tell that you are coaching and it's some kind of like wellness, I'm assuming, but then your source for, and that's without reading, right? I can tell like, the sense of calm is there because you chose great photos. But what I would say is, what do you want people to do, right? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to book? Do you want them to like read everything first? Like, see, I see you have like the discovery session here. And you already have like that booking. I'm gonna try to see how this works, right? Okay, so you have this perfect like booking flow. But what I would say is, if you want people, tell them exactly what you want right at the beginning, because not everybody's going to scroll down, right? So I would put a button here that says like book time with me, or like work with me, or book a session, because if they really are curious, even if they'll keep scrolling down. But if you just want them, you want the first call to action to be in the first fold. This is the first fold, right? Nothing else really matters like after the first fold, because otherwise you'll just like lose them. But this site is great. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
When you say call to action, did you mean like just a button, or would I have like a little introduction kind of thing, like, hey, if you're looking to do XYZ with your life, click here or whatever, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, so basically,
okay.
What problem are you trying to solve? How are you going to solve it, right? Like, for example, like for mine, it's like, I had like a snazzy copy that I wanted to use here, but then the more I tested this website, the more I learned that, like it was too much. Like I had to explain it for it to make sense. But here's like, let's do DIY, do it yourself, build your what are you gonna leave with a mobile app, and how long is it gonna take? 1 day, right? So for you, for example, could be like, in 6 weeks I can change your life by, you know, I'm not sure how, like, didn't read your whole website, right? So I could change your life with maybe improving your gut health or with meditation, right? And then I tell them, like, register now, even if they haven't seen what the program is, right? At least you want them to know that they can register for something. And it might be helpful to have like testimonials like these from like your previous clients, right? Video was very, very helpful. And really, you know, showing like who you worked with, like, and the benefits like as well, right? So that's really maximize like that first fold. Okay, let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. It's beautiful. Let's see. Icon Media House from Chitras. Oh, sorry. Let's type it. iconmediahouse.com. You are a graphic designer and this is your website. Again, you guys have beautiful websites. Like, why are you guys like not? Okay, so the accept button. Okay, so this is great. I think you know, it's clearly like it's very clear like what you do. I don't know if it's my internet connection, but I think because there's a lot of moving things, like you have your logo glimmering, you have this coming in layers like so elegantly, but then it's slowing down the loading time, right? If you get plausible, it will also show you like how long it took for that page to load. But then at first I thought I had to refresh, or like this thing wasn't gonna come out. So that might be, although it looks really good, that might be like a little detrimental. And it's luxury of design. Like, see, I know like sometimes, you know, as a designer, I also don't like things like being too wordy, but also see how, like, what am I trying to see how, right? Like, I know, like, okay, you're trying to show me how you could give me that luxury of design, but how, like, maybe like with the words that you use, like be able to communicate that better, like see how we can bring this type of luxury to your business, right?
I have a question after.
Yes.
After you're done with this, I have a question.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. No worries. And then I love that your work is there, but I would also like to know who you're trying to help specifically. Like, are you creating luxury designs for like, it's also, it really helps to, you know, pick a niche, you know, for like the restaurant industry, or for, you know, like more like elegant like industries as well. Like your designs are like very elegant. This is beautiful. So yeah, just like be very specific with who you're creating for, right? We create visual stories that inspire action and motivate customers to take a closer look at your brand. But that's every agency, that's every designer, right? Like what sets you apart? So that's where copy.ai would really help you like narrow down like those parameters and still make it sound good. And you know, you could just like edit it to look good on your layout. Let's do this last website and then we can go to that question, myride901.com. Never lose stress. Ooh, we have an app. Okay, never lose track of your vehicle service history again. What is a vehicle service history? So I'm not a car owner. I also don't know, I'm not a car owner. So that would just click. Okay. It's good that you have the problem and then how you're going to solve it. Like, that's great. And even though you used red, it isn't like an offensive alert type red. So that's good. And you have everything like on top, like that's great. Yep. You want them to start a trial. you have like your video, your app looks sick. Yeah, the only thing I would say is if I read this, so there are things called sense breaks, right? If how I read it in my head is how you want people to read it, is how you should cut the lines. So never lose track. I would cut the line there of your vehicle's service history again. Otherwise, you have this like one orphaned like word here that's just like, so if I read that, never lose track of your vehicle service history again, right? People read like that way. Those are like little things that we don't.
That's great feedback, Sissy. Thank you.
No problem.
Here's a question for you, and this is something that my co-founder and I have gone back and forth on. What do you think about the font size? One thought is like the font, particularly like where it says never lose track and features that make the font is too large. On the other hand, sometimes large font does really kind of get in your face and you see it. We don't want people to get lost. Like, any thoughts on that, one way or the other?
So you can do A/B testing, right? Like you can present like two different like versions of this page and see, what people respond to better. You can like have, you can set up like maybe a focus group or just like start sending it out and see which version like people respond to. Like there's also like some apps that you can connect that would help you track where people click first. But like off the top, like your copy here is almost as big as the logo size here, right? So I don't think it's big enough. It should probably be like a little bigger, but maybe it's also not the font size. Even the spaces like in between things, you can manipulate that to make it a little like tighter or like look a bit more premium. If you notice, like the space on top here isn't the same as the space between like the edge and like the button, and then this edge and that top. If you just like increase this space by a little bit to match the bottom, like I assure you, and then cut the text like the way in good sense breaks, then it'll look like more premium. Like it's so crazy like what white space. So white space is like stuff where there's nothing in it. But it's about the design. It's so crazy how much that can affect how your brand looks.
Is that very interesting? Because we used to have a lot more space at the top and the bottom. And just today, as a matter of fact, I went in and reduced it. So I should go back to the way it was before, I suppose.
Well, I don't know what it looks like before, but if you don't really have to reduce it or add to it. What I'm saying is make it match.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, and here, right? Like, I don't know if this is a whole section on its own. Like, you see, like the space kind of adds to the story, right? But yeah, it looks great. Maybe add some pictures of people using it, right? Not just like the interface. But yeah, okay, we have one more.
Thanks for your input, Sissy.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for sharing. I know we had a question. I have not forgotten about you.
Yes.
All right, last one. Okay, so this is also good. You have this great picture that describes exactly the feeling that your text is conveying, but everything is in all caps. So it's like yelling at me. And it's not really telling me how, right? Live joyfully and passionately. Why, right? Like, why do I need to do that? And like, why would I, what problem are you like trying to solve? Are you like, is it through like specifically, people that are going through a particular like scenario in their lives, or is it, yeah, like I think it just needs to be a bit more specific. I love how you have like this banner here. It's just the thing is you have to check across devices. Right now you're prioritizing the size of your logo. So everything is like, there's so much space here. It's actually pushing down the most important part of your website. right? Because unless I scroll like that. So maybe you can even bring the logo just like into this space. So you won't need to have such a like tall menu, because the menu isn't the most important thing. And I really want to see more like what, how, why as well. Yeah. And oh, Shibashi, this brings me back to school. So also just maybe a little more like organization and like differentiation with the things, like with the spaces. Like again, I mentioned earlier, if this amount of space is on top, then that should be the same amount of space like on the bottom, and it'll make it look so much better. White on an image is really hard to view, so maybe we try like a different approach. And sometimes we don't need lines. So like you see how like there's so many things. It looks like it's a flyer, like a coupon code, so a coupon like sheet. So sometimes we don't actually need like boxes and bars and lines to like separate things. We think we have to separate things. It's like this is the way print was done, but sometimes all you need is space. So if you just good spacing. So if you remove these bars, like they have like that clear definition. And if you move, you know, like let's move email capture up, that would be great. That would help a lot as well. Yep. Okay. Finally, the question.
Yes, thank you. First, I would like to say thank you because it's well presented. Even though I'm in my phone, I don't see, like it's really tiny because I come from work. But my question is, I have two questions. First, is it, will we have this recording to go back and just check it and just do it ourselves? Because that's something I really want, like to improve my website. And I didn't even know that we could have sent our website for evaluation. Or
do you have your website right now? I can look it up, and we could give the, you know, we could comment on it, but also happy to take a look at it like off the call. When you know, like find, you can just like send me an email and I could give you feedback on that in the video. And that offer is open to anybody. If you want to send me an email with your website, I will respond with a video screen recording of your website, what you can do to improve your website as well. Happy to just help the Ella community.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No worries. It's my pleasure.
Do you still need the website, or should I send it after?
Oh, if you want it, because you can't see, I would, whatever you like. Let me know your website. I'm just worried that you can't see where I'm pointing.
Okay, okay, yeah. Yes, I will do it after. So will we have your email?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much.
No.
Okay, that's answer my questions.
It's already in the chat, but Serena will send that out later.
Another question in the chat box from Dila was, do you have any suggestions for making the websites attractive?
What kind of attractive are we, like an existing website or like a new website?
Dila was, are you online? Would you mind unmute yourself?
I think I have gotten multiple websites presented, but okay. With the resource thing that you'll be getting access to, you'll see here, there is one of the boxes has the basic design principles of web design. So basic principles of web design. Okay, very redundant. So like it'll give you tips on, you know, like what would make a good website, like, you know, what is your purpose clear? Is it simple enough? It also has examples of websites that show that those concepts. And even where navigation should go, how people will read your website. So it's the same like what I was mentioning earlier, like put everything in the fold, because like that's the first thing people see, and like rarely do people like end up scrolling down. Also like visual hierarchy. This is what I was talking about earlier with like white space, and like how you don't need boxes to separate information, right? And there are examples there as well, like the Apple website, examples of great content. So when you go into writing your copy, these are websites that you can look up to, like this one, I love this one. I'm just gonna open this. It's called You Need a Budget. So basically, and I use this myself, like this week, my credit card lives thanks to this website. So basically you need a budget to help you gain total control of your money. I am so anxious about, numbers and like money, and like, like we live in a very high cost of living area. So this is really helpful. So gain total control of your money, stop living paycheck. It really is very direct in like what you need and what they can offer, right? So this is a great example of good messaging, and also like grid-based layouts. But with the website builder examples that I've shown you, you don't actually have to take this into consideration as much, because those platforms already do it for you. So whatever you put in that builder like software, it would look great across tablets and phones as well. And load time, right? Load time, like I mentioned earlier in one of the examples, even if it looks great, if it doesn't load, then it's probably, you could probably make some adjustments to the images that you upload, or like to the animation to make it a little faster to load. Yeah, so that you will get this also in that little document. Just wondering if you or anyone used WordPress to build a website. So does it compare to the suggestions here? Yes, I used WordPress to build my own website. The thing about WordPress is the learning curve is pretty high, right? Like it's not like software where I can open this. Let's see, I can open this and I can click into something and it'll open that. Like with WordPress, I have to set up like my domain, buy my own space, pick the template, install it, pick all the other plugins, install that. Like it's just like so many things to go around. Although it's still a no-code website builder, it's just at this early stage, especially of your business, you probably like don't need it. And, all these things can get the job done like really, really well. Let's say here, I also work for a company called Our Wave Hub. We teach like 6-week courses on no code and marketing. And this looks sick. Tooting my own horn here, but it was built with software, right? Built with software in a week, and just we didn't have to put so much like effort installing things and like buying things from different providers. So it really is like the quality of the photos, the quality of your messaging that will bring, it's not about the website builder, it's like what are you trying to communicate, that will make or break your site. You're welcome, Ken. Thank you for the question.